Hi there, Serial Trader here. So I got a request to look at Ethereum and Bitcoin, and also I just want to do an update anyways, given the recent action. So we'll start off with Bitcoin. And, okay, so we've been in this wave 4 correction, at least by my measurement, since April of 2021, despite making a slightly higher high in November of 21. I think our actual orthodox top was in April of 21, and this was just a B wave or an X wave, depending on how you want to count this correction. Slight new high, and now we've gone down to make a lower low. But I think within the larger context of Bitcoin's trend, this is still a corrective price pattern that should lead to a move in wave 5 to higher highs. And I'll give some things to support that assessment. So as far as doing, now we're in log scale right now to bring things in proportion. If you're not in log scale, things look a little out of whack given the large percentage moves that Bitcoin experiences, both up and down. But in log scale looks good here for wave pattern analysis. So a fib retracement of the proposed wave 3. Right now we're just in between the 38.2% and the 50% retracement of wave 3, which is a very typical range for wave 4 to correct to. And you can see I have a horizontal, let me just get rid of the lower retracement levels so we don't have clutter on the chart. You can see I have a horizontal line drawn from the 2017 highs, which at the time was a blow off, manic top, the highest of highs in both price and sentiment. I have that horizontal line drawn out to here. And now we're coming into historically oversold weekly RSI levels and basically just meandering around, slightly above or slightly below the former highest highs of price and sentiment are now becoming the new lowest lows of price and sentiment. So from a classical charting standpoint, all things, everything else aside, the old highest highs that were, former resistance, major resistance, are now the new lowest lows acting as new support. So that is a overall bullish or constructive development from just a classical charting perspective. And what else here? Again, I like the retracement level on log scale is still reasonable between 38.2% and 50%. And also the wave count cannot truly be invalidated. Like this impulse wave count of a 1, 2, 3, 4, expecting 5 up, that doesn't truly get eliminated unless we took out the prior one wave, or wave 1 high, which would be at 13,764 on Bitfinex. So we're still comfortably above that. And, my current best guess, if you will, because of course I don't know exactly what's going to happen, although at certain points you get a pretty good edge about that. My best guess is that we are not going to violate that, and that this overall impulse wave development or wave structure is going to stay intact. Now, if it does get taken out, then we have to reassess, but not currently expecting that. Again, this is probably the best technical entry point for Bitcoin possibly ever, because even if we go back, Bitcoin has history before 2013, but it's not the greatest liquid thing to be tracking at that point when it was just basically a tiny market cap thing. But going back to the former, lowest RSI levels on the weekly, that was the 2015 RSI low, which was very close to the price low. I think there was a slight takeout, just a washout of those lows a little later on in 2015 in August instead of January. But that was a very good technical entry point here. And that was at, what up until now was the lowest RSI readings on the weekly. We're lower, significantly lower than the RSI was at the March 2020 low, which obviously was a very viable low. And we're lower than the December 2018 low, which was also an oversold weekly RSI level. We're more oversold now, but possibly starting to move off that oversold condition. And, overall, you just have an incomplete impulse wave. You have an impulse wave up, correct and move down to a higher low, a very clear third wave up, and now so far a corrective move down, not overlapping with wave 1. Now this might change our wave 5 calculation since we have done such a severe wave 4 correction. We may not go as high now in wave 5 as we would have previously gone if wave 4 had ended at a higher level. Although until there's more wave 5 development, there's not much to project other than some common relationships. But I think the overall expectation should be that we make new highs, above 68, almost 69,000. How far above? I mean, I still think over 100K is pretty solid target, but until there's some more structure to the upside, there's not much more to add to that as far as targets. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Ethereum, very much in the same boat here. We have a impulse wave up on the weekly chart, and we have a 3-wave correction to a higher low into March 2020. Clear third wave up off that very strong aggressive move up, and now we've been doing perhaps again an expanded flat or a double 3, so either an ABC down or a WXY down, depending on how you want to label it, but overall a corrective structure. And Ethereum on log scale is just right at that kind of textbook wave 3 retracement for wave 4 of around 38.2%. Didn't really go much past that so far. Let me just snap that on there. So I like that as far as the depth of retracement. Certainly looks reasonable for wave 4. I like how you have even more time consumed in wave 4 versus wave 2, and that looks all good. What else here? RSI levels are as oversold as they've ever been on Ethereum. We got to as low as 26 there, which actually happened to be the price low as well. So 26 weekly RSI. Let's go back here to the 2018 lows. That was only 28. And if we go back earlier on in Ethereum's history, might have got to around 26. So we're right there with among the lowest, if not the lowest level of weekly RSI ever within the overall context of a still developing impulse wave up on the weekly chart. So and that's all looking good. So very much similar to Bitcoin, looking for wave 5 up to new highs. And then before I go into the shorter term, because this is all fine and well on the weekly chart, but we want to be a little more precise if we can be. So just give me a moment. Now we'll just have a quick look at the Ethereum versus Bitcoin price. So Ethereum overall often likes to kind of be a little more bullish than Bitcoin versus the dollar. I mean, they both sorry, they both move up in similar ways versus the dollar, but Ethereum can be more aggressive to the upside and less aggressive to the downside. That's often what's happened, although lately you've seen Ethereum be in a bit of a sideways correction versus Bitcoin. So at least on the very shorter term, Ethereum's been a little weaker on this downward move, but overall, once things resume, I would expect Ethereum to go up more and go down less versus Bitcoin against the dollar once we resume the uptrend. But, directionally, they should be pretty similar. But really, if you want to have that kind of added boost, maybe be a little heavier on the Ethereum if that's your preference. I mean, I don't think you're going to go wrong anywhere near current levels or even from higher levels if we hold long enough here and get the resumption of the uptrend. So, yeah, expecting Ethereum strength versus Bitcoin to resume, and then expecting Ethereum and Bitcoin versus dollar strength to also resume. Now let's go back to the Bitcoin chart, get off log scale, and maybe go to the daily, or maybe the 4 hours better. 2 hour? No, 4 hours fine. So on the 4 hour, let me get rid of the RSI there. So we have the potential for a bottom already in place here on our June 18th low. And if that were to be the bottom, we would probably label this as the initial impulse wave up. And we've got an A, B, C, perhaps an expanded flat or something like that. Wave 2. And we'd be working on that first wave 3 up of the first impulse wave off the bottom, okay? So we're pretty far from actually having this, but this is what we would be looking for to develop, okay? Yeah, you can see expanded flat A, B, C down, higher high in B, lower low in C. And what do we do for a retracement of that initial impulse wave, if that's what we're working here? I think it was a 786 retracement, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just about a 786 retracement, not quite. And now it looks like we've done perhaps another little impulse up, correction down. Hang on there. correction down, and we'd be working on the subdivisions of this larger wave 3. So let's see here. Yeah, that nice deep wave 2 of 3, something like this we'd be looking for. So this looks good. Okay, we got the initial 1, 2, and maybe a subsequent 1, 2, but this needs confirmation. Like, we need to explode out of here, go up many thousands of dollars in a short period of time per Bitcoin, have an unmistakable kind of impulsive looking third wave up. But we have the base for it, we have the ingredients for it. Now it just actually has to happen. If that doesn't happen, okay, if that doesn't happen and we kind of meander about, maybe make a slight new high and then fail again, we'll have to entertain the possibility that perhaps we're doing just one more wave down to finish off, you know, an impulsive structure as part of that larger wave 4 correction. Again, not necessary, but if we do not fail, sorry, if we fail to materialize a good rally here, and we come down and make lower lows, it'll just be kind of the finishing touches on that larger correction, not the beginning of even more, you know, extensive downside. I don't think so. So I think there's a lot of reasons to be bullish here. Of course, you still have to be aware of the fact that this low could get taken out, but it's looking promising that it was a significant low. Perhaps, you know, the bottom that many have been seeking. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Ethereum is really the same. If we go with the 4-hour off log scale here, same idea. We'd be looking for this to be the initial, hang on there. We'd be looking for this to be the initial wave 1 up, okay? And then this would be like an A, B, C expanded flat 2. And then we'd be looking for that 3, 4, and 5 of that first impulse wave up. And within that, you know, maybe we're in the early stages of that wave 3, doing the initial 1s and 2s there. And same as Bitcoin. If we do fail, then perhaps this was just another, you know, ABC up correction, and we're going down at least one more time to new lows. But I think there's some... Oh, we also just started a new quarter, so we've got the first 2 quarters of the year in. We're now just starting the 3rd quarter. So it makes sense that if, you know, many funds have been on the sidelines, or big money managers have been on the sidelines, they're finally ready to deploy some capital into this falling market, or what's been a falling market. And there's going to be a huge amount of cash traveling into various asset classes, including crypto. I mean, people aren't just going to sit in cash forever, if that's what they have been doing. And I think there's some evidence that there's been a larger than normal cash position on the part of a lot of people and funds, firms, etc. So my point is, if that's the case, then the beginning of a quarter is when you'd often see that kind of injection of money into asset classes. So if we're going to get a nice explosive move up, that kind of coincides nicely as far as the timing thing goes. But price is everything. We need to see that strong impulsive action to the upside, which we have the ingredients for. It's looking promising here, but we got to hold the lows and start making some nice higher highs. So we'll see how the weeks and months progress. Probably not going to do a whole lot of updates, but my personal mindset here is just accumulate more, hold what I have, and still very much anticipating that move up the new highs, at least in Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, that's good for now. Serial Trader signing off.